I really looking for the mastermind options here.
Yes, same. I'm really looking forward.
Because it is already all in matchup.
Read,
Redraw.
read. So we have 1 times redraw from the current rank 1 player Archicum. So why do you think
Oh,
is he taking redraw here?
I think Archaikum is already not that high pushy player, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to starve a lot.
Yeah.
He's doing those long saves and play safe. So I think him securing a good role or early mid role, mid game role is really beneficial for him to go for redraw and not risk some bad role for him.
Yes, I would totally agree with you on this. Archicum loves to make those early game starves. He loves to send a little bit less, make those tactical plays, and he's building more or less safe. So I can understand the fact that he rather wants to play with a comfortable role instead of a role that is like only decent for him.
Yes. And he hit a good angler roll. It's his first roll,
Yes,
but
he
he
didn't like it. I have
did
to
he
say,
reroll?
yes, and now he's having like an more or less decent AoE role. I personally dislike the role. It's very vulnerable on a lot of waves. Let's just mention some, for example, 6, 10, 11, 14, 15. Like there's plenty of waves he's not perfect on.
I'm not really fan of AoE rolls, to be honest, in these kind of games because it's if they counter you and go for long stars,
Yeah.
you can be really out soon. But it's interesting that also Scoffed roll is going for AoE roll.
Yeah.
They have like similar roles, so it's gonna be interesting how those teams gonna play out.
Yes, they have very similar roles even. I like the one from Scoffroot a little bit more because of the Sandbatcher, which is just a perfect add as an arcane tank for 14 and 15. Might even help on 7-8 as well. So I really like this role a little bit more. And I really think that Juvis is playing super interesting here, especially with the placement of the pack rat. Very, I don't know, strange, probably. Like I've never seen this. Plus the fact that he is placing the Mudman a little bit too high out of my experience. So he's placing it on the 7th row, which means the deep coiler might not snipe ranged units unless it's a little bit more to the middle instead of like just being in the corner. So he's already surprising with a bunch of interesting plays like the Harden here.
So that should be enough. I placing in 7 row as well. It's my deep color, so it's still should be sniping. But yeah, this spec red is kind of weird for me as well.
Yeah,
But
like he's totally taking the option to ever find an aura unit like an Ocean Templar or a White Mane to place there for the Mudmans. And while we talk, Archicum leaking to a Dragon Turtle on wave 2. I think this league is totally fine for him because he's far in the worker lead. He lost all the pressure against him, so he can push some. Robbie, at the meantime, he's able to generate with him as well with his treasure hunt instead of just simply workers. So I really do like this in favor of Archicum and Robbie to league a little bit and gain more time in the early game.
Yeah. Let's see if those teams try focus on wave 5 versus the AoE builds, or they go for wave 6. But I would prefer wave 5, especially versus Coptrot. I think he can be very vulnerable there.
Yes, and it's not only about Archicum and Scofftrold who are playing full AoE builds, but in my decision I would also have a look at the other roles. And Robbie and Tuvis, they both look a lot worse on 5 than on 6. So the option between 5 and 6 is more or less clear if you take those variables into account as well, and you maybe even want to force king damage.
And this game is already strange for me because we see 2 leagues and like Robbie and Chubis are on 5 workers. I know they have a treasure hunts, but Chewies didn't use them here,
Yeah.
and they still need to be careful because like Chewies is kinda bad here into recent even with
Yes.
this build.
Chewies,
And if he's treasure hunt, he's rip for sure.
Chewies, he's having 5 workers only. I say it because he just received a send. And still not pushing more than 5 workers because he knows he's not the best here. While Robbie, he already gathered 100 Mythium to send against Scofftroll the next time he chooses to. And 100 already plus probably another 20 or 40 that will come is going to be a massive send against Scofftroll, who already has to overvalue and prepare for the next send.
Chewies should hold at least for Scofftroll, and Archicum is already preparing his Tantrum Hellraiser for 5 to get some extra DPS on this wave.
I really like this play.
Be enough.
So it looks like Archicum is receiving a Imp, and I think the boosted Hellraiser and the Double Flower should be able to hold here against an Imp only. I think it might have been more of a problem if there was a Hermit Dragon Turtle, but that's not possible for Scofftroll to send. Okay.
I'm surprised it's going for Imps. I would personally send Hermit, but I don't know which is better.
Well, it's probably because he was able to send 100 in income time.
Yeah, but then all this damage is not reduced.
I agree, it's not perfectly used, but it still looks like massive leaks, especially Scofftroll leaking big. We have Archicum leaking the boss a little bit, and we have Chewies who received a Brute and a Dragon Turtle who's clearing, but he had to harden for this, so he's gonna be a little bit weaker on the next wave, but with the amount of Mythium Archicum has only, there should be no danger for him.
But I was talking about the Hermit on Archicum side, not on Scofftroll. But Imps are really good on Scofftroll here.
True. Wait, did Archicum actually leak? Because I'm unsure at the end. He did,
He only leaked a boss.
Yes, a super low boss.
HP.
Okay.
At least something.
Okay, very good. Then I didn't say something wrong there. Oh, that's an interesting play. A Pegasus already, because Robbie, he didn't receive a send for some time. So buffing with a Pegasus, preparing the same time for 7 and 8 already. I like the play kinda, but is he in danger because of the Drake?
Well, if the Drake go into Pegasus, it's gonna be perfect play, so let's see, but it should go on to Drake.
No, it should not. Wait, the Violet was higher, so that's what I meant, like, the Violet should be the one tanking the Drake. But it's probably still enough, because Pegasus is just a massive unit, and Robbie, even though he treasure hunted, is on 600 value. So that is not a problem. But what is kind of interesting about this play, or strange, we had Chewies shifting 40 Mythium, so he would have been able to send another Dragon Turtle on top of the Drake, but he decided to not send it and maybe just not show his whole strength, his whole Mythium. And he's still leaking Robbie, and this is such an unlucky leak here.
This is rough.
This is very rough.
But at least there's like some time for them to get the extra Mythium. Archicum can send double Brute with this leak in income.
Yes, it actually just played into their favor, at least if Robbie's now able to hold the next send coming, the full send, not Chewies is sending, the rest he shifted last wave.
Chewies should harden here for sure.
Yeah.
He's really good on 8 with those vets and Deep Queller.
You mean 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's good on 8, I mean. It's
yes, that as well.
Definitely harden here.
The only thing I'm worried is the split, because he didn't use split, so the veteran here in the split, it might not tank enough units, and a lot of units might go towards the Deep Coiler very soon already, but it doesn't look like it. Nope. So
I also like hardening on 7 Madman, because harden on 7 with Madman is pretty strong, while on 8 it's not that effective.
Yes, I do agree. Do you want to explain why it is better to harden on 7 instead of hardening on 8?
Well, not really, but
Okay.
also because Madman is a way better unit and tank unit for 7, and
Yeah.
this extra harden is gonna take a long time to be killed by the wave.
Yes, I do agree. You have a lot more from Hardened Madman on wave 7, not only because Deep Coiler is a little bit strong on 8, but also because you don't want to have a Dehardened Madman on 9, where your weak wave will be with a Deep Coiler.
Yeah, you're way stronger on 8, and if you deharden Golem on 8, then you at least maybe bait them into sand if they skip, like you don't wanna get a huge sand on 9.
Exactly.
But we see a quite big lead on workers in Archicum and Robbie side.
We do, and I really do love to see those worker leads because they managed to take some uncontrolled sends, for example, the Dragon Turtle on 2, into their favor. They just took the extra time, pushed some more workers because the pressure was gone, and now they're in the position to pressure. They have a lot of Mythium. We see the first send coming out from Robbie now. Plus, they have this huge worker advantage with 5 workers already pre-wave 9, which is massive.
It is massive. And I wonder what is Chewy and Scofter gonna do this send. They get split sand here, and we see a PTA, and options go for big 11 sand, like
Yes.
PTA with 2 rams on both sides on Archicum and Robbie can work.
I agree 100%. I think the split send here is a really weak choice, especially with Robbie not even full sending. So unless there's gonna be a big leak, which I don't think it's gonna happen, this split send is actually not going well in favor of Robbie and Chaikum. And I really feel like those 120 Mythium spent, well, this will be a lot they will miss later on when they will receive massive sends, because now Scofftrolls is in a position to do at least decent on the wave 10, maybe even full hold, even with only semi-good units.
Yeah, he just sent a mall without adding anything, and like it's pretty much not optimal. He was pretty much guessing he's not gonna go for that cap, and then he leaks full maybe versus a mall, but it was pretty obvious he has to go for deep cap.
Yes, he kind of had to, especially with 2 options for 10, the Trinity Archer or the Deep Coiler. He was way weaker on 9, so he really had to do the death cap if he's able to get it. And I think
now
yes, please.
Now he received 2 TT and 2 King Ups on top, so
that should be a full push now. And we see, look at Juvis's value, it's 1-5, and they just decided to send here, and even though we have Trinity Archers and some Elite Archers on Robin and Chaikum, both of those players are gonna leak, so we have King damage guaranteed for Kalmar minus Sweethearts, while on the other hand side, Juvis and Softroll, they both hold, and now they're able to leave the worker advantage behind, and yeah, push workers themselves. Oh.
Yeah, this wave 10 is pretty good for Juvis and Sculptor, like it's just getting them back into game, and now I think it's again even.
Actually, Robin and Chaikum, they just pushed some more workers, while Juvis and Scofftroll, they just stopped pushing at 12, so they were equal. Now Robin and Chaikum, they decided to push some more, which is an interesting idea because we have Juvis, he's overvaluing, but because he's treasure hunting twice, they all take press the attack, so there will be a lot of action coming very, very soon.
I like this.
I do as well.
It's gonna be wave 13 cents, I believe.
Like, maybe they're actually gonna start in panic, because we have Juvis, he's not perfect on 12, not at all. Same for Robbie, who's missing quite some tank value for wave 12, especially in the split. And then we have the two AoE players, which are obviously super strong on 12. So it's gonna be the gamble. Are they gonna send us big on 13 and we can do the same? Or are they already trying to undercut us with a fair share of Mythium? Let's just have a look. We have 250 Mythium already on Scofftroll, for example. Can we hold a 300 cent in 12 or do we get undercut? This is especially hard for Robbie and Archaicon because they are only at 60% king.
Yeah, but I think this is correct, because if one team panic and it's not gonna work out, then they are just dead on 13. And Archaicon is preparing to defend 12 here. All his units are... Oh, maybe not.
Okay, I really do think this is the best play as well. Agreed.
Oh, he's back. Well, problem with LOD is that he has no tanks anyway on 13, so even if he goes for Hades, it doesn't really matter because he's just gonna leak anyway pretty fast.
But that's a problem for Archaicon. Like, even though he has those elite archers, he's not really in a position to put any single target damage on his board. While I do really like Scofftroll's split elite archer, so he plays it in the split on the other side where no AoE units are, so the elite archer will just be in range to hit enough units, which will be like 2 or 3 on 13, to not spread his damage bolts on too many targets, and he's achieving a quite good single target damage like this, or only targeting 2 or 3 units. I really like the Trinity in the split.
This double Rams is gonna kill both players. Like, it's so perfect send versus both of them.
It is. But is the triple imp a good send? This is what I'm wondering about. Like, do you really decide for triple imp here? Triple imp snail in income time? Like, I'm not sure. I think I would have liked something like pack mole more. What would you say?
Not bad send. I personally wouldn't send it because I don't even know how strong imps are in mid game. But it makes kind of sense. Like, he has some AoE damage, so they're gonna split tank, and they are also full magic damage, and he has 2 violets and antler, so it's quite decent damage. But not sure about if it's perfect send or not.
And look at this. Everyone leaking, the 2 AoE players, they leak the full wave. Once it is the full wave, and on the other side it's the ram and I think 5 creep, if I saw it right, and the other 2 players both leaking 3 creeps, and this should be GG in favor of Scofftroll and Tubis. And they really made it happen.
So this is what you wanted to solve.
So far, my prediction is correct. This time, not as last time, we have everyone playing greed. So Archaicon's going away from the redraw option. He probably didn't feel like taking it again, missing the 2 income. Maybe he's willing to go for a 5 worker opener instead of just slowing down in the early game and being forced of playing a little bit safer. So I really do like the decision, because if you get an average or above average roll, redraw is just a little bit worse.
3 players had the angler rolls, but only 1 chose to play them. And
that hurts you, right? That hurts you.
Yeah, I think it is also the weakest angler roll from other options.
Chivas, like, I don't like it as well.
Robbie and Scofftroll had nice bounty rolls, but they didn't go for it.
Robbie this time going for the AoE, which I would say it's a very good AoE roll. Just give 1 source of single target damage into it, like a Berserker or a Halo, and you're really having a nice one. Starcaller would be fine as well. I don't like the double fortified defense with Boar and Bunk. That's kind of what I don't like in his role.
Same. And interesting, the Archaicon is choosing for Gate Guard with his role.
And only 4 worker Gate Guard.
His role is pretty mid-game oriented. It's a Butcher Nightmare, but he's not choosing Nightmare.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna check how he's gonna play it.
That is the interesting part here as well, because he did start 4 workers only, but with a gate guard. So he took the risk leaking on 1, which is only a minor leak, so not game breaking unless you have 5 worker no ads. But he could have just started save with a nightmare, had the options for a cat, for example, as well. So I really hope he will show us some hyper greed with his role to justify the gate guard start over the nightmare.
Yeah, I think nightmare will be a better choice, but it's just my opinion.
Well, maybe he can prove us wrong.
I hope so. I'm gonna check what he's gonna do.
Same. Now we see Scoff Trolled, he played the safe Berserker, even added another tier 1 in the split to be a little bit stronger against the Lizard Sent here, while Tuvis he did choose to greed with his Bounty Hunter, not adding another Angler, but only a Bone Warrior, so he could have leaked to a Snail Send. I like this decision, I really have to say I like it.
Yeah, and when the Sculptural go for tier 1, he couldn't send 40 in income on wave 3.
Yes, and even our Chicom is sitting on so much Mythium, it's like insane. It might be 100? Can it be 100
where?
on 4? Sorry, on 4 obviously.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
did the prediction.
But I think he's aiming for 5 cent with this setup on the Scoffed Road. Especially when he gets a Lizard on wave 3, so he's not forced to send on 4 to defend his lane.
Yeah, agreed.
And then he can send pretty massive on 5, but... And also, wave 5 is also good versus Bounty with a... with Steed and Robbie on 7 workers. So they can go together on 5.
Yes, those 7 workers are really heavy. Like 7 workers on wave 3, you are very having super big cojones in this game. But I think it's fine with his role. Like he can just go Fire Elemental now, he's gonna be safe. On the next wave, maybe 5 is gonna be a little bit of a problem, but you mentioned this already. I really...
is gonna send 120 on 4. He could send so 100 in income on 4. Yes. Would you go for imps or no? Or do you go for DT?
I think I would have chosen the Dino here, Dino Snail. So you will have the Dino running into the Berserker. Yes, Berserker will clear it sometime, but still you have the Dino keeping the Berserker away from the wave. Plus you can add a Lizard, who's like the Serpent's gonna take forever to get the Lizard. So my send would probably be Dino Lizard. But he's not choosing to full send here. So he's trying to trick play.
I don't like it.
No, same. I think this was a free leak. And now we just feed 80 Mythium, while they could have just got huge king damage. I really dislike this choice as well. Like what would you have sent? Imps?
He had more than 100 before income, so yes. I will choose imps.
Well, imps, maybe even Dragon Turtle Brute, or maybe the Brute is too expensive because of the income loss you have. I don't know, but I think.
Not sure, but I will definitely send full because I don't like 80 into Brute resend with something, because Sculptor can read that play that it's not full. So he's not gonna overpush and he can build up a bit, but he pushed and he's shifting 40 gods. Maybe. So maybe it's gonna still work out. But then Sculptor can full push and he already has 110 Mythium, so he can punish Robbie on wave 6.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to this punishment on wave 6, 150 Mythium already. It's gonna be massive. It's gonna be a massive send, but it has to go well, right? You just starved yourself, plus receiving a huge send, a huge resend 80 Brute Snail, because you got faked the wave before. I really do like this play now.
He's also leaking. so it evens out.
Yes, but
and
it's
has a pressure.
Yeah, but look at this. Like it's gonna be super close hold for Tubis only. He's not able to clear too many units, and this is the first blood against Kalmar minus sweetards, and they're a little bit behind now in king damage, but the massive send from Scofftroll is coming now, and this is all about it. Like, will it hit Robbie? Will he be out of the game because he was greedy pushing 7 workers, or is it actually fine because he did choose to play it with good units and he exactly knew that he can greed that much?
I don't wanna bitch too much, but I don't like that Scofftroll didn't push at all. He shift for, I mean, he didn't push, so he go for Deep Coiler, but I think it's so much overkill because he can do it for next wave while having a Serpent, Berserker, and Windhawk already for 6. So he's super fine even versus recent, and he can build up more Mythium and more workers already on 5.
100% agreed. I can understand the reasoning behind it though, because he doesn't really have perfect units. The only thing that would have been a good play here is probably another Windhawk, because even a veteran is like nothing you want, because for 7-8 you will build the Deep Coiler anyway, plus it's going to be bad on 9, so I feel like Windhawk would have been the only choice, which is then bad on 7 and 8. So he probably just thought, sorry, please.
We see nice leak, but I personally would go for Vet on right side, just upgrade it, because it's already preparing for wave 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So it will be also a pretty good play. And
Yes.
I think Berserker, Serpent, and Windhawk is enough damage on 6.
Yes.
But we see 100% leak on Robbie side, so good punishment there, as we talk about.
Sorry for all the people I didn't show Robbie's wave most of the time because I was too focused on the Berserker Deep Coiler. I'm sorry, but you saw the leak. Okay, so the punishment was successful.
Yeah.
People
and it's also like this AoE trap. Like people just go for those weak waves, and you just leak them.
Yep.
And they also look weak on the same wave, like 10. He still didn't build up his Berserker, so he can go for Doppelganger for 10. But I think they really need something.
Nightmare.
Yeah, Nightmare.
Oh, look at this!
So,
Juvis now choose for the Kingpin. That's an
he already had it on 6.
Oh, I didn't see. Well, good job to the caster then. But 95 stacks, I think this is totally fine. Like with the recent changes to Kingpin, you just have such a powerhouse in HP, and every stack is just giving you even more strength. And unless you need the heal in the early game, I think the Kingpin is overall a lot stronger now, because in the later the game goes, the more unlikely it is that the Kingpin is actually getting the last hit.
But 95 save is absolutely alright,
Yeah.
Especially when he has the second Angler and he has Teeth, so his second Kingpin can be full stack, no problem.
Yes, and look at this chance Juvis just took, receiving another income send, which was only a Fiend, but he's now pushing another 2 workers, leading now 2 workers above Robbie and Archicom with his wonderful 12 workers. He's strong on 8, he's strong on 9, he's strong on 10, he's strong on 11, he's strong on 12. Like, this is perfect for him now.
He played safe. He could push even more, maybe.
I actually imagine that he's pushing more, but he was just not able right now.
Well, he built a steed here.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't see it correct. But
and Archicom was pretty lucky on 7. He had a 650 value, and he was barely holding.
Yes.
So if you choose to send on 7, he will be in trouble. But I think they just see this 10 potential.
Yes,
I
think it worked very well for them last game, and I think they want to do it once again, especially with both players, Scofftroll and Juvis, naturally looking good on wave 9. Like, yes, there's big sends coming, and the value's not like the best, especially not for Scofftroll, but they are not really weak. They're Scofftroll, he has the Antler, Violet, Deep Coiler, all solid or good units, Plus we have the Kingpin on Tuvis. Okay, he's now a little bit greedy. A lot of steeds and even a Dark Mage. But let's see how it will end up.
Yeah, I mean he is having a free hold with a 140 income send plus two ups, so no problem for him. He can full push. Also, Scope Troll can full push, and they just go big on 10.
Yes. So one thing I really dislike in this game so far is that Robbie is feeding Tuvis with a lot of income on plenty of waves. I think with pressing Q, you see when he got a send. Oh no, you only see when he leaked. Snap. Okay, but I'm 100% sure that Tuvis already got 4 or 5 times the send, and most of this was income. So he's just perfectly sitting in a spot where he can feed himself up. Look at this, 15 workers. He's sending a Centaur pre-income, almost had 320 Mythium pre-income on wave 10, and I do not see a chance for Archaicum and Robbie to hold you. Even with a doppelganger, there's gonna be massive units coming. A Centaur. What do you do against a Centaur here?
Just leak.
And look at Robbie. He's having 4 aquas.
I think those aquas are actually good because they are gonna kill this 4-eye, which is not optimal send, I think.
The 4-eye send is like the worst probably about this. Like he could have just sent a huge tank, let's say a Ghost Knight or maybe a Pack Leader to just get some attack speed on the boss. Attack damage, obviously.
They hit Imitium at top, so they can maybe go for big send on little run as well. But this is still gonna be massive leaks. And I also wanted to mention on 9 that the Scope Troll baby leaked with 1.1k value, and all bad units almost were 220 cents, so it was really good hold for me.
I have to disagree with the almost bad, all bad units. Like Deep Coil is actually really good if you have good tanks, and there were Antler and Violet as tanks, so I think it was not that bad, as you say.
Right. It was still massive send versus his value.
Massive send against low value, I agree 100%. And those leaks are so insane. 97% boss against Archaicum, who probably felt a lot safer than Robbie did with the doppelganger. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. And that's also why I like a Nightmare opener way more, because you already showing that you have something on 10 to cover your mate with roll.
Yes.
Because his build was really weak on 10. Really, like he full boss plus descent, so not a really good job in covering.
100% agreed. The good thing is though that this was a free Dark Ritual for both Archaicum and Robbie. So that's a good part about this. So they're getting a little bit more gold compared to Pawn Shop. Because they basically have to.
That they are on less than 10% with pet setup on 13 again. So.
Agreed. But like they still didn't reroll. Robbie, he has Banana Bank Boar, and he's still not pressing the reroll button to get rid of the Banana Bank. Same for Archaicum. He already placed 2 Nightmares down. So he really has to find, for example, magic damage for wave 15. So I really would like to see rerolls coming very soon into it, because they are gonna need it. They're with their backs to the wall. Look at Chu, it's 24 workers. He's just gonna pressure Archaicum so hard. He needs the perfect setup, and he needs to know on which wave he's bad.
Yeah, this is the Chuvis I wanted to see last week as well. But you're lucky that he is performing now and not last week.
or we just played too good, right?
Oh yeah, you just didn't give him a chance to perform. Oh boy, this is gonna be some massive sense on 13 again.
It is. I'm really looking forward. Like with those king ups, like obviously Robin and Archaicum, they did need the king ups because the king is super weak at the moment with the recent hardcore nerfs, you can basically say. So with 8% they had left, you won't really be able to tank more than 1 or 2 units. So they had to do the heals, but at the same time they gave away so much pressure, and the sends that are coming are just massive. Like look at this. They're only small undervalue now, but I can guarantee that the undervalue will be a few hundred the next wave.
Yeah, this is looking rough. Holy shit, they're getting so outplayed here.
It's so nice. Like, it was just a very good play, but I have to say that Robbie did a little bit of a poor job feeding Chuvis with a lot of income sense. We can look it through after the game has ended. What the hell? Okay, so this is his choice for 13. And yeah, here it is, Archicum from minus 665 to minus 325. This is just the power of 25 workers. And look at his value. Like, he's having 25 value workers plus really good value. This is insane.
They are not sending as well?
That's really ballsy. Like, if they live here, they have a chance. They probably just die though.
You have to be kidding me. Did you think you survive?
Like, they probably didn't expect 600 cents on Chicom and 440 on Robbie. Like, I think the 440 are like somewhat reasonable, but the 580 cent is like, that's heavy. Wow.
Oh wow. Wizards.
This is insane. Robbie and Archicom.
So Archicom and Robbie, they are out, right?
They are out
because
now.
Because and Chuvis
They are out. Yes, they are out now, because we will have a look at the bracket in a second after we discuss the game. Then we can see what happened. But so well played by Scoffrel and Chuvis. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Well played by Chuvis and Scoffrel. And I'm a bit sad because I said before the game that Archicom and Robbie has such a good experience and they perform good on cups that I thought that they're gonna manage to like cover each other on big waves, you know, like they don't give them good opportunity. But in both games, they both were bet on 10 and 13 together, and it was just the same.